What is up, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice. Well, we live in a strange world, and we live in some strange times. And I've been saying it for some time, and people just can't get it, or they don't want to listen. And they say that Trump is bringing peace to the Middle East. Well, there's a Bible verse for those that believe in the Christianity and the Bible. And it goes a little something like, there will be peace in the East, but there will soon be sudden destruction. And I quote. So, with that being said, now in this very moment of history, in our world, in our civilization, in our modern times era, Trump is claiming to bring peace to the East. And he also claims that it's a 3,000-year peace deal, because there's never been peace in the East. There's been thousands of years of war and battle and disagreement amongst certain religious groups. And so there's always been constant war there. And being at the Holy Land, that is, and I quote the Bible, right? The Christian Bible, King James, whichever one you choose. So with that being said, prophecy is being fulfilled. And, I can't help but think, did I want Kamala as a president? Nah. But I certainly didn't want Trump either, because I'm neither left nor right. I think they're both idiots. I think both sides are, ideologies of hate. And you can clearly see the division in our country, more so than ever, with that being said. So had the presidential election gone left or right, there would have been the same situation. But with divine intervention, the person who was going to be elected anyways. And that person was Trump. So divine intervention took place. Whether it was rigged, whether it was fair, whether it was, whether the ballots were correct, whether the numbers were correct, who knows? Who knows? But our Creator's perfect plan and His will be fulfilled. So if it was rigged, it was because of that reason. If it was fair, it's because of that reason. Regardless, it really doesn't matter, because the turn of events that are taking place were meant to happen. Right? The rapture didn't happen. Still hasn't happened. And people keep pushing these dates because they've been wrong like 10 times already. So they keep pushing these dates using different calendars, saying that they all claim that God told them. Right? And these are so-called Christians and believers. And they claim that God told them. They claim that they heard it from a prophet, right? They say that this guy had visions of this and that, right? And, it turns out, a lot of these people were crying about Charlie Kirk. They were saying, what's her name? Erica Kirk went and throwing up the devil's horns. That it was, I love you in sign language. Okay. Yeah, you keep telling yourselves that. Because, and then they say that Israel is God, right? But who was to bring the false Messiah, though? Can anybody answer me that? Who were the ones that were going to bring in the Antichrist? Can anyone answer me that? Was it the Jews? Was it the Muslims? Was it the Christians? Can anybody tell me that? Who were the ones who were going to bring in the Antichrist? Anybody. Leave it in the comments below. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the events that we have here now, truth often reveals itself. And over time, truth reveals itself. No more lies. No more lies, Wiglaf. The phrase false messiah, peace to the east, refers to a biblical prophecy in which a deceptive figure makes a temporary peace treaty with Israel. Isn't that what's happening now? Often interpreted as a heralding event of a global peace that will be followed by sudden destruction, this false peace is described as being established by a powerful leader who will broker a 7-year covenant, but will break it after 3.5 years, leading to a time of great tribulation. This is a key concept in Christian and Islamic eschatology, where this figure is either called the Antichrist or the Dajjal, respectively. A deceptive promise. The peace treaty is seen as a satanic deception, creating a false sense of security while hiding a sinister agenda. That is a constant theme that I've been saying in every one of my videos. Like the border shit, right? With the immigration. Them putting troops in your streets because of the illegal immigrants and the ICE protests, right? That is for your safety. But is it really? Or is there a sinister agenda behind it that you're really not seeing? Let's continue. According to the prophecy, a 7-year treaty is made with Israel, but only after 3.5 years it will be broken. I think it'll be sooner than that. This verse links to Thessalonians, which states, when people are saying peace and safety, sudden destruction will come. It says, the one who brings true peace, this period is a false peace, will eventually be superseded by the true and lasting peace brought about by the return of the true Messiah, Jesus Christ. Is Donald Trump Jesus Christ? Can anyone answer me that? Because a lot of people seem to think they call him the Cheeto Jesus. You remember this video? The Trump statue? You know what they call this? Idolatry. You know where he was going to put that? In Gaza. It's funny that they have all this money to give Israel and rebuild Gaza, but they don't have the money to help you or me or make America great again, as the so-called term would be put. Remember when Trump was talking to Zelensky and he was like, you're going to bring World War III. You're on the brink of World War. Remember when he said that? Well, guess what? He's still sending weapons to Ukraine. Remember everybody was bitching about that? Because Biden was the one sending money and weapons. But so is Trump. And I don't hear anybody bitching about that. They seem to think that the shutdown of the government is because of the immigrants. But little do you know that your grandmas and grandpas and your children are going to be the ones that suffer as well. It ain't just going to be immigrants. All in the name of your peace and safety, though, right? It seems you all have been misled. And I'm not saying that Biden would be better or that Kamala was better. No, not at all. No, far from it. Couldn't be further from the truth. But Trump was no better either. But Trump was meant to be the one to be there, to do this. It was always him. Even if, let's say I did go Democrat and I did vote for Kamala, she wouldn't have been put in there anyways because it was always going to be Trump. That was always the plan. That's why I don't believe in that shit, because God's will is ultimate overall, right? So it didn't matter. You know what I mean? None of that shit mattered, right? It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. He was ultimately, he doesn't even have to be a Republican. It was just going to be him who was going to be the one to be in that spot and do those things. You know what I'm saying? It's the perfect plan and it's God's will, our creator. And that's what will be fulfilled. It can't be stopped. Whichever direction that it goes, that's the way it was supposed to happen, and that's the way it was supposed to go. And people can't see it. And, a lot of people call themselves Christians and believers, and they think they're going to be raptured. And I've been saying this video after video, right? Like, I don't think you're going to be raptured, and I don't think you're going to be the ones going to heaven. I'm sorry to say. And a lot of people are angry, and they get angry at me for saying these things, right? But it's the cold, hard truth, and you got to come and face the music and look yourself in the mirror and realize that you were wrong. You were wrong, and you chose to believe in man and his technologies, and you chose to do idolatry, right? Then you didn't really get the ticket, and I don't think that's God really speaking to you when he says there's going to be a rapture, because it didn't happen. And then, all these people are deceived by these people that are saying these things, and that includes them too. So, yeah, you can be angry all you want. You can be mad, but you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. You can unlike my shit. You can unfriend or unsubscribe to my shit. And I don't really fucking care because, I know the truth, and that's all that matters. And I've stuck to it, and I still plan on sticking to it. And, if you don't like it, you can go over there. Feel free. Just saying.